Touchdown or turnover, back by Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, the place where you belong. Better rates and better service. ATFCU.com. Ben McKee, Jason Swain, and Ben, I have a good one for you today. Touchdown turnover. The most important player for Tennessee this weekend, other than the quarterback, plays on offense. Touchdown or turnover. The most important player for Tennessee to win this weekend, other than the quarterback, plays on offense. Touchdown or turnover.
I say turnover. I don't think that there is a specific player either, if that's okay with you.
No, that's okay, man. I mean, interpret it how you want to.
It's Tennessee's front seven is the most important unit, not named Joe Milton or Hendon Hooker. Tennessee's front seven on defense has a very tall task on Saturday. Florida's rushing offense is as legit as Tennessee is going to see this season. Three-headed monster in the backfield with Malik Davis, Dameon Pierce, Naquan Wright. They don't individually put up gaudy stats, but as a unit, they put up big-time stats. And those are just the three running backs. And doesn't take into consideration Emory Jones's legs and his ability to run with the football. Anthony Richardson sounds like he is going to be able to play on Saturday. He is very dynamic with the football in his hands. He is a handful to bring down.
Dan Mullen said that he would play only if he's 100%.
He did.
A little 100% doing that backflip before the game last week.
Mm-hmm. But the expectation is that he will be 100% by Saturday.
For sure.
And that they felt like a mild hamstring can quickly go to a severe hamstring injury in a short amount of time, and they did not want to risk losing him for 4 to 6 weeks if they were to have played him on Saturday. So they were very cautious with him. So I'm going with the front seven because if Tennessee is going to have a chance to win this football game, one of the top keys to the game at the top of the board is slowing down Florida's rushing attack. If Tennessee can pull off a way to slow down Florida on the ground, then they'll have a chance to win this football game. So I know offensive line is a big question mark. I get that. Receivers need to step up. Backs need to step up. Everybody on this football team needs to step up, quite frankly. But Joe Milton or Hendon Hooker, whoever plays, can have a big time game. But if Tennessee's front seven doesn't slow down Florida's rushing attack and doesn't slow down or contain Emory Jones, Anthony Richardson, then it won't matter what Tennessee does on offense. So I say Tennessee's front seven is the most important set of people on Tennessee's roster, not named the quarterback.
Obviously, stopping the run takes a unit, takes a team. There's no doubt about that. So it's going to take not only the front seven, but all 11 guys because you're going to need secondary support to stop big-time runs, especially Theo playing in the box. But I'm going to try to pick one player because, yes, stopping the run is going to be all hands on deck type of responsibility. But I'm going to go Byron Young, man. And I was thinking between Byron Young and I was thinking between him and Tyler Barron because I remember when Tennessee in 2013 when we played them down there, we scored first. And we scored first, not on offense, but we had a pick six. It was Deshaun Swafford had a pick six. And then, we wound up, falling apart and losing that game. Also, think about the last time Tennessee played down there, which was in, 2019. And
what a miserable game.
2019, and you had a pick as well against Kyle Trask. And the result of those two picks, man, was because of pressure. It was because of pressure. And if you're going to force Florida to have some turnovers, I think you got to get some pressure. Last week, Emory Jones probably played his best game as a Florida quarterback, even though he threw one interception. But that one interception was a result of the Alabama pressure. So got to get pressure on the quarterback. And I think Bauer Young, even though he hasn't played the entire season, he has elite measurables when it comes to getting to the quarterback. That's what he does very, very well, and is Tennessee's best pass rusher. So if he can affect Emory Jones when there's a Florida pass, then that's going to be super, super important. Now, offensively, it's really hard not to go look at Cooper Mays, right? Because Cooper Mays, him being out, changes things on the offensive line, puts guys in different positions, and we saw last week that's not necessarily what we want. I mean, we can't have snaps that don't even make it to the quarterback's hands. That was the case when Jerome Carvin was working at center. So you can't have that. It's just best if Cooper Mays is at center so everybody else can be, more their natural positions.
And it caused Tennessee not to convert on a 4th and 3, I believe it was, because Hooker had Jacob Warren
wide open
in the flat, and just because of the snap being on the ground and trying to corral it and hurry up and get it off, it just threw off the rhythm of the throw.
Yeah, trying to pick it up, watching Hendon throw pregame. He's a guy that throws with the laces, and index finger is up there at the tip of the football. So now you got to pick it up while you're being rushed. Pick it up and grip it the best way you can and throw it out there. And it was just he threw it out of bounds, man. It was just an inaccurate pass, but I don't know if he had enough time to put his hands on the laces to get it out there. But, yeah, that play was a result of a bad snap. And so it's just best if Cooper is working at center so that way, Carver can play guard and everyone can play where they're supposed to. So
and it helps with the tempo. Jerome Carvin admitted that yesterday to the media that he feels like he's done a good job with the tempo, filling in for Cooper. And tempo has been at the top of his priority list because somebody asked him if there's been a time with him filling in if because he's not the center, Cooper is the center. If in filling in, did he forget to kind of go tempo? And because it's his job to really push the tempo to get the O-linemen aligned and make sure that they know what to do. And the O-line kind of sets the tempo. And Carvin said that he has not forgotten, but there's been times where he didn't push the tempo as fast as it needed to be. So he even admitted that there's been some times in filling in which he wasn't able to push the tempo as fast as need be, and Cooper coming back would just take a whole lot of weight off of Jerome Carvin's shoulders, and he can just focus on fulfilling his duties as the left guard, and Cooper is a very smart football player, so allow Cooper to get out and push the tempo and do what he does best, and get Jerome Carvin back in there at left guard where he's best suited for, and Cade's going to be fine, ready to go by Saturday, and all of a sudden you're back to looking at the offensive line that dominated Bowling Green on those first 2 series of the game. Obviously, Florida is not Bowling Green, but you feel a lot better about your offensive line with your original 5 than you do with Cade out, with Cooper out, with Kingston Harris, even though he's not one of the top 5 starters. He's been filling in for Cooper essentially with Jerome sliding over to center. So without 3, you were without 3 of your main guys against whatever team Tennessee played on Saturday, Tennessee Tech. And it showed. So now that you get your main 5 back, hopefully that goes a long ways.
Cooper last week on Tennessee Prime mentioned how much he liked the responsibility that he has playing center in this type of offense because he controls the show. He's very important setting the defense. Normally, it doesn't matter if it's an up-tempo offense or a huddle-up offense. The center always needs to set the defensive front and help identify the middle linebacker for the quarterback and all those good things. But in this offense, he is super important because he's spotting the ball. He's standing right over the ball when the referee spots it, and he's a big reason why the tempo is as fast as it has been in the first couple of the games. So important to get him back, man. Important to get him back. I think you must stop the run first and foremost. It got to generate some pressure, and Cooper being back really makes things easier with the offensive line. I'm not expecting to run the football by a ton of yards, to be honest, for my running backs, but it will be good for Hendon Hooker to be an extension of the running game from the running back position, and then you got to have protection and pass pro to hit those big shots. And will that be Hendon Hooker or will that be Joe Milton? We shall see. Let's go to.
I'll be curious to see if Aubrey Solomon plays too. I think he earned some more snaps on Saturday. Again, I know
from Tennessee Tech.
Yeah, again, I know it's Tennessee Tech, but Big Boy was moving with a purpose. I don't care if it's Tennessee Tech or not. I had not seen that type of effort, intensity, get off from Aubrey Solomon like we did on Saturday. So I think that he has earned a chance to get some early reps against Florida, and then what he does with those reps, either back to the sideline or you get more reps after that.
I want to put some pressure on our corners. Alontae Taylor had the pick six, responsible for people getting free cookies and stuff on his play. Could have scored. Was a half size shoe too big, and probably would have scored if he wore 12.5. But think about this, Ben. Tennessee has not really gotten all the pressure that we want to get with our front four. Now, Byron Young coming back, that may change some things, but how much will it really change? Will it go from non-existent to, being a force for 60 minutes? I don't know. I doubt it. So how do you generate pressure? Obviously, Emory Jones turned the ball over once last week because of that pressure. Well, how do you bring pressure outside your front four? Well, you got to bring someone from secondary. You got to bring linebackers. And if you are bringing people from the secondary, that means you are leaving your corners in one-on-one coverage. And you got to be able to hold up. So Alontae, Warren Burrell, they got to be able to hold up and cover one coverage if Coach Banks brings pressure with Theo Jackson or brings pressure with our linebackers, because I don't know how much pressure we can get with just our front four, front five. I think we're going to have to blitz, and I think that's going to force Alontae and Warren Burrell to play some man-to-man. And these guys have played in this game before. Warren Burrell was kind of baptized by fire a couple of years ago as a true freshman right here at the Swamp. It wasn't necessarily his fault, but he got hit on a double slant with he had a little ankle injury going on there, but he got hit with a double slant for a touchdown. And this is his second time playing in the Swamp, so he'll be more ready to go. But I think Tim Banks will have to put these DBs in some one-on-one situations to create some pressure on Emory Jones.
And the good news is that Florida's receivers aren't world beaters.
Mm-hmm.
This is not your typical Florida receiving unit. It's just not. They don't have a bunch of guys that jump off the page at you. I mean, Jacob Copeland is their best receiver, and I've never been impressed with Jacob Copeland during his time at Florida.
Overrated when you look at the
recruiting ranking.
I mean, their leading receiver last week was a tight end.
Right, and the tight end had 0 catches. Their whole tight end room had 0 catches through the first 2 weeks, and then they led Florida in receiving on Saturday. Keymore Gamble and Keon Zipper. So 2 veterans.
Zipper-er.
Quite the last name there.
Zipper-er.
Zipper-er. The veterans haven't played a ton, but that's in large part because they've been playing behind Kyle Pitts. Keymore Gamble did come in when Pitts got hurt against Georgia last year and made a couple really nice plays. So just hasn't been asked to do a ton.
Had 5 catches against Alabama.
Yeah, that's really the most he's been asked to do in his career, aside from the Georgia game last year when Pitts got hurt. But Justin Shorter is the receiver opposite of Jacob Copeland. He's a transfer from Penn State, former 5-star, hasn't done a ton. Xavier Henderson, he's a sophomore, young. Jamarcus Weston, redshirt sophomore, he's young. In the slot, Trent Whitmore, redshirt sophomore, young, and he can't stay healthy. They do have a redshirt senior that slides in there in the slot as well. Rick Wells, who had a nice opener against FAU, but they just don't have anybody that scares you. I would be surprised if a Florida receiver just dominated Tennessee and won Florida the game. If Florida wins this football game, it's going to be on the legs of the running game. That's what it boils down to. Tennessee is more than capable of containing Florida's receivers, but can it slow down the run? Can it force Emory Jones into making some bad mistakes to turning the football over? Because he is very vulnerable. He wasn't against Alabama, like you said. Probably the best game of his career was against Alabama. Did a good job of not making bad decisions. But the Emory Jones leading up to the Alabama game was an Emory Jones who consistently made bad decisions and consistently made poor throws. Can Tennessee bring that Emory Jones back out?
When's the last time that Tennessee and Florida played in a game where, like, both wide receiver groups, you were like,
It's
Man, I mean, isn't that weird?
Maybe 14, the 10-9 game. I don't
just
remember any Florida receivers off that.
Just weird,
team.
Man.
I know Tennessee didn't have great receivers in 14. That was like sophomore Marquez North.
Yeah, freshman. You know,
Josh Malone.
I mean, you had. I think.
Was Malone not 15?
I thought Malone was. No, Malone might have been 15.
Did Malone play 3 or 4 years? He was 3, right?
I think Malone might have been. No,
I can't remember.
I think he was 14. I think he was 14.
I think you're right. Yeah, because he came in with Jalen, right?
Yeah, I think he was. He was 14. He was at the end of 14. You know, he wasn't an early commit like Jalen Hurd, but he was part of the 14 class. Yes, he was 14.
That 14 Florida passing attack had Clay Burton at tight end, Quentin Dunbar, Ahmad Fullwood. That's about it.
It's just, I mean, this.
So probably 14 was the last time that either team didn't have a crop of receivers that you just kind of wowed you.
I mean, Pig Howard had 6 for 80 yards in that game, and but yeah, you did have Pig, Josh Malone, Marquez North. Von Pearson was in his first year. I mean, receivers wasn't bad in 14. But anyways, let's go to the phones.
If Pig Howard's your best receiver,
I don't know if Pig was at that moment or not.
We wanted Marquez North to be.
Yeah, it just didn't happen. Anyways, all right, who's on the phone?
Clint,
good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. Clint, how you doing today?
Hey, Clint, how you doing, man?
Hey, going back to your wide receiver question, you talking about Jacob Copeland. As far as I can tell, the most significant thing he's done so far in his career is throwing a Tennessee hat off the table during signing day.
That's about it.
Yeah, and then he got hurt, I believe, didn't he? He missed some time. So
yeah, he's battled injuries throughout his career.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's so far in the rear view that we tend to forget how bad he disrespected Tennessee. Usually, we get a chance to make up for that on the field, but I don't know that that's even in our consciousness anymore. But anyway, I wanted to ask you about Tennessee's receivers, and I grew up in the era, where Tennessee really, it was wide receiver U and late 90s, early 2000s, all that. About our wide receiver group and all the questions that we have, are there receivers from that era that our guys compare to, just to try to find a little perspective on where we really are at with that group? I mean, are there parallels to any of those guys, Swain, either in the classes you were in or before, or are you prepared to say that I'm not sure these guys see significant anybody on our roster sees significant time because of the talent we had back then? Can you offer just a little bit of perspective on some historical perspective on what we even have at the wide receiver position right now?
I hate to be that guy that's like, man, back in my day, and my time was better, but I don't see any of these guys that are playing right now being able to get in with our wide receivers, because we had a deep group my freshman and sophomore year, very deep, and we had speed. Like, I know this group has speed, but Chris Hannon was a speedster. He's a 4.2, 4.3 guy. Meacham was a 4.3 guy. And I'm trying to be politically correct here. I'm trying to be nice, but really the answer is just straight no. Nah, man, I don't see any receivers that play on this team that can fit in with our groups, to be honest. Because mentality wise, we just some savages, man. Didn't shy away from contact. Didn't mind calling each other out. Play tough is all get out. Embrace the weight room. Like Brett Smith used to work out more than anybody. I mean, he had pythons like Macho Man Randy Savage. Man, he had pythons for real. Like he was like, he had small legs, but man, he was physical. Meach was physical. I was physical, and so we didn't shy away from contact. I think mentally we was tougher, and I think we had guys that we learned from before, and then I thought we had a really good receiver coach that had a lot of experience. So nah, man, the answer is no. Just no.
Well, one of the things that made those groups so special is it wasn't like we had a guy. We had like three guys, like all the time. There was always, a bunch of them, and we're searching to find one. I don't know if that comes in recruiting or what, but we always had three guys that could kill you all the time that you had to account for on the field. And I think that's why we were just so dominant back in those days, and frankly, probably why we attracted such good quarterback play. And we were talking yesterday about, the struggle of Tennessee recruiting a good quarterback, even with, our history. And I don't know which comes first, a dominant receiving core or a dynamic quarterback, but having multiple options, any of these guys, that could beat you anytime we lined up. And the fact that we're him and Holland trying to find one guy that we can define as the best on a group that wouldn't see time, a generation ago is kind of discouraging. But that can all change in the portal. That can change with development. I still like these guys. I think there's plenty of room for growth for all of them. But yeah, it's not what we grew up with for sure. For sure.
I mean, look at the group. You got several transfers, and some of these guys came in this past year with Josh Heupel. I'm counting two off the top of my head: Anderson Colby and Javonte Payton. And I think there's a reason why you get transfers. There's always a reason why you want to bring in a transfer. And we looked at the linebackers, we looked at the defensive line, but man, the receivers brought in multiple transfers this cycle, and I think there was a reason why for that. I like Walker Merrill. I think he can develop to a really, 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 really good receiver. I liked him when we signed him. I think he is prepared. I think he was prepared. It's why we're seeing him right now. Honestly, this early in his career, we're seeing him because of the job that guys like MPA did. MPA there in Nashville, National Playmakers Academy, and the culture that they had. He was able to compete with the good DBs and train against them. I think that's helped him come in and be polished and be ready to go as a true freshman. But yeah, man, this group got to step it up. They got to step it up. They have not played the way that anyone expected them to play, to be honest. When you look at that speed, when you look at the athleticism, kind of expected more. They're young in some areas, but still, man, they got to be better. They got to be better. So, thanks for the phone call. I hate always doing that though. But back my time was better. My time was better. But some cases, it's just true.
No, you're just really breaking into 40 really well.
It's just true, man. It's just true. Sorry. No. It is what it is. Swain Event. Be right back.
While the other guys are taking guesses, the Swain Event is taking you behind the scenes and in the huddle every morning from 7 till 10 right here.
More and more Tennessee businesses are switching to Iris networks for reliable, local, high-quality, high-speed business fiber internet. Iris provides direct internet access from 10 megs to 10 gigs with no payments for 90 days. Iris also offers next-generation business phones with work-from-anywhere capability from the mobile or laptop app. With local sales, support, and service, Iris is a partner in the community. Learn more at irisnetworkusa.com or call 865-448-IRIS. Iris Networks, a Tennessee business connecting Tennessee businesses.
Hey there, Swain Event listeners. I'm excited to share my new Keller Williams Realty app so you can tour homes without leaving yours. Not only can you search for homes in specific areas and neighborhoods, you can also have access to real-time market snapshots on stats like average home price and days on market, plus commute times from your office, school zones, and much more. Download my app today and get the most accurate information on buying, selling, and investing in real estate in your area. Just search for the Keller Williams Realty app and click on More in the lower right-hand corner. Type in Jennifer Morris in the Your Agent search bar, then save and you're set. And as always, feel free to reach out at 865-257-7897 or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com.
I'm Vince Moore, wide receiver, VFL 1991. And you're listening to the Swain Event.
Guys, your health right now is more important than ever. I recommend Low T Center. That's where I get my levels checked. It all starts with the annual wellness exam where they do a comprehensive health assessment exclusively for men, making it quick and easy to take care of your health. And now they offer monitored self-inject at-home testosterone treatment. Most insurance is accepted. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment and make your health a priority. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
When I made the move to my own studio, I was worried about this. I was worried about that. I was worried about, hey, did I get this piece of equipment? Did I get that piece of equipment? Does that sound good? Does that not sound good? One thing I didn't have to worry about, that was office furniture, because Office Furniture Outfitters met my furniture needs. With a 50,000 square foot facility, they have East Tennessee's largest selection and are the best value for new and used office furniture. Located in Knoxville, it's easy to find everything you need for your new space, including desks, file cabinets, chairs, conference tables, and more. Office Furniture Outfitters is turnkey. They came to my place, we mapped everything out that was needed, they delivered, and get this, set everything up. To learn more about what Office Furniture Outfitters can do for you, log on to ofonox.com. That's ofonox.com. All right, it's time for Around the SEC on a Tuesday. Conference play is cooking. It is cooking around the league. Ben, what you got for us today?
I have a lot to go over because we don't talk anything but Tennessee football on Monday, so I want to take a look back at the weekend and all of the results from around the league. We mentioned Florida narrowly losing to Alabama. We mentioned Mississippi State taking an L to Memphis. UTC nearly pulled off an upset of Kentucky. Kentucky had to make a couple of plays in the fourth quarter, score 14 fourth-quarter points to beat the Mocs 28-23. Missouri took care of business against Southeast Missouri State 59-28. Texas A&M beat New Mexico 34-0. Arkansas beat Georgia Southern 45-10. Georgia beat South Carolina 40-13. Penn State in a great football game.
Good job, Penn State.
That's right. Attaboy James Franklin beat Auburn 28-20.
He gone after this year, though.
To where?
I think he's going to USC.
I don't think USC wants James Franklin. We'll see. Maybe you're right. I do think Penn State and James Franklin are headed for a breakup. I do agree with you on that. The question is where? Where does James Franklin end up?
Yep.
LSU beat Central Michigan 49-21. Ole Miss beat Tulane 61-21. Had over 600 yards of offense midway through the third quarter. More on Matt Corral in just a moment. Stanford, attaboy David Shaw, whooped Vanderbilt 41-23. Speaking of Matt Corral, he was named the SEC Offensive Player of the Week.
He's going to be a problem.
He is a problem.
Yeah.
he is a problem.
We're not playing him this week.
Sueno.
But he's going to be a problem when we play him.
You just have to hope that defense gives up a bunch of points. I'm talking about Ole Miss's defense giving up a bunch of points. But I don't want to think about that right now. I'm already worried about Florida. Matt Corral named the SEC Offensive Player of the Week because he was the first player in SEC history with 3 passing touchdowns and 4 rushing touchdowns in a single game. The 7 total touchdowns tied the school record set in 1951 by this player. If you can name me this player, Swain, I will give you $100 on the spot and buy you lunch at Dead End Barbecue. 1951 was the last time Ole Miss had somebody score 7 touchdowns in a game, and Matt Corral tied that school record.
I mean, what Archie Manning, because he ain't that old, is he?
No. If you guess this name, I'm just going to go ahead and call it a day.
I ain't got anything.
Showboat Boykin.
With a name like that, heck yeah, man.
Showboat Boykin was the last Ole Miss player to score 7 total touchdowns, and Matt Corral tied his school record. How awesome of a name is that?
Can't beat that
Showboat Boykin. Pretty impressive. Will Anderson from Alabama and Nolan Smith from Georgia were the co-defensive players of the week. Will Anderson had a career-high 3.5 tackles for a loss against Florida. Nolan Smith had 1.5 sacks. The special teams player of the week was Nick Constantino, punter from A&M. The defensive lineman of the week was B.J. Ojulari, defensive end at LSU, 3 tackles, 2.5 sacks. The offensive linemen of the week were Jeremy James from Ole Miss and Ricky Stromberg from Arkansas. And the freshman of the week was Adonis Mitchell, a receiver from Georgia who Jeremy Pruitt did not think was good enough to play at Tennessee. Adonis Mitchell posted career highs of 4 catches for a team-high 77 yards and his first career touchdown during Georgia's win over South Carolina. Adonis Mitchell, again, a receiver at Georgia, a true freshman receiver at Georgia who is getting some run, was a receiver that Jeremy Pruitt did not think was good enough to play at Tennessee.
Just like he didn't think J.C. Horn was fast enough.
Correct. Oh, and by the way, Adonis Mitchell from Cane Ridge High School there in the Mid-State. In Antioch. So thanks, Pruitt.
Has anyone been
You bald-headed scallywag.
Has anybody been mentioned from Tennessee this season?
Nope.
Let's get an opportunity this week. Let's get an opportunity this week. It's a great opportunity.
Single player.
So yesterday, the forecast for Gainesville said it was going to be raining. Now it is going to be 85 degrees and just a little cloudy.
What about the humidity?
Oh, come on, man. It's Gainesville. It's always humid. Just 69% humidity.
Nice.
So yesterday, it was looking like it was going to rain during the game. Now, not so much. Looks like we're going to have a clear skies for a little foosball. All right, let's hit the text box. Ken says, with all due respect, I was a student at UT in the late 80s when we had Carl Pickens, Alvin Harper, Anthony Miller, etc. That was wide receiver U.
Yeah, tell him, Ken. Remind him of who the real wide receiver U at Tennessee was.
Dude, we know that, Ken. I know that. Yeah.
You needed to be reminded.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
Joey Kent came here.
Brought back down.
Joey Kent, when he talks about the best receiver of all time at Tennessee, just because he has the records, he don't even mention himself. He mentions Carl Pickens, that he looked up to those guys when he came here. So it ain't about which group was more wide receiver U than the other. It's about Tennessee was wide receiver U during the entire stretch of years because of multiple guys that played at a high level at Tennessee, then went on to play at the league. So, yeah, Ken, you don't even have to preface your comment, because I definitely didn't say that my era was the only time that Tennessee receivers were good, or we were, Tennessee, wide receiver U. I was asked about current receivers versus my group of receivers during when I played.
Well, you were talking about your group of receivers
against the group that's now.
T.O. and Jerry Rice playing with each other.
No.
Did T.O. and Jerry Rice
get the message board ears out of here, man. Listen to what I'm saying.
Did T.O. and Jerry Rice have a third guy?
J.J. Stokes was on that team.
I'm not as familiar with his work. I've heard the name. Not very familiar with his work.
Yeah, J.J. Stokes was a big body, tall wide receiver. But T.O. was a pup there when he was with the 49ers, and Jerry Rice was still playing. But J.J. Stokes was still on that team.
Which, by the way, you're starting to get me in trouble on these message boards. I get lumped into everything. Like 3 different people yesterday on the message boards was like, Swain and Ben said, Swain and Ben said, Swain and Ben said. And like 2 of the 3 things was something you said.
That's because they don't listen. That's what I'm saying. It's message boards ears. They don't listen. They don't listen, man. Folks don't listen. They want to hear what they want to hear and believe what they want to believe. And sometimes they don't even hear it. They just make it up. I don't got patience for that or time.
I couldn't tell.
So if you got if you want to disagree, you got a problem with said, at least get it right on what was said. Don't be making up stuff. Don't make up stuff. Get it right. Like this whole narrative, Josh Dobbs was a bad practice player. No one ever said that. It's made up. Like it is truly made up. It's made up. And that's not cool or fair. So yeah, man. I'll let y'all handle that message board stuff over there. Folks be having selective hearing.
You're getting me in trouble.
Well, I don't. I say what I say. You say what you say, and it's people's responsibility to listen clearly and know what is said by each person. Don't lump me in with Ben. Don't lump Ben in with me.
Yeah, because my opinions and takes are way better and more on point than Swain's.
Hey, if you feel that way, I'm totally cool with that, man. I dig the confidence. All right, who's on the phone?
We've got Corentinval.
Corentinval, good morning.
What's up, y'all?
What's up, Corentinval?
It sounds like they're getting your blood pressure up, getting in their feelings, huh?
I just want to be quoted correctly. That's all.
Too much to ask anymore. Everybody's got twist words. I don't get it. You especially don't want to get your opinions twisted with Mr. McKee over there, because we know his hot takes.
Hot take, McKee.
Name one hot take that I have had. Don't worry, I'll wait.
I don't have that much airtime.
How convenient.
I'm just joking with you. I'm a Steelers fan too, so I took one on the chin this weekend myself. I just wanted to kind of make a couple quick comments.
Go for it.
I like there's something that is bothering me. I know it's probably bothering you too, Swain. Is like when I was playing wide receiver, I wasn't a fast guy at all. I could barely run a 4.5 if you put a turbojet engine on my back. You weren't getting me to break 4.5. But I was physical, and I knew how, and I was technical. I knew what I was doing. I was running my route correctly. I knew exactly where to dig at the top of my route and everything like that. And I just don't see a lot. It bothers me that I don't see a whole lot of physicality from our receivers, but I'm sure that's probably something that's being coached, that they're just meant to properly run the route and just get open. Because that's the way I do see like a lot of the spacing with the way that the offense likes to be spread out against the sidelines, and it's meant to spread you out and stuff like that. But that's kind of worked my nerves a little bit. But I've had to tone it down a little bit and just calm down.
I'm with you. Yeah, I've been irked watching us on offense at times, and other times I've said, "Oh man, I like that, man. I can see myself making some plays in that offense." So, there's a feeling of mixed emotions watching us play so far on offense. I do like the opportunity to, get your hands on a lot of balls, especially in the slot, and getting the ball on the outside quick. Getting your hands, getting a lot of touches. We saw Jimmy Callaway catching one, taking to the house. So I do like that, man. More plays mean more opportunities. So I do like that. But yeah, I'm with you. I've bit my tongue several times.
Absolutely. I want to pass one more thing past you guys, and I'll hop off here. I'm not one for like conspiracy theories and all that garbage. I'm more realistic. I'm very very much like you two, and I thought this was funny. I was talking to a friend last night. Do you think some of our, I don't want to say maybe black cloud is kind of creeping its way over towards the southeast, a little bit towards that other orange team to our southeast? They have you got 5-star players transferred in the middle of the year. You've got defensive tackles suffering nondescript injuries. You just got, it's just something fishy. So it looks a little similar over there. I figured I'd pass it along. You guys get a good chuckle out of it.
We talking about Clemson?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking that over the weekend. I was like, man, Clemson don't look good. Like they fell off.
Booty terrible that first game.
Yeah, they fell off, and then against who they played last, Georgia Tech. Mm-hmm.
And barely beat them.
Yeah, they haven't looked good this year. I mean, they didn't score a touchdown against Georgia, which Georgia's pretty good on defense, but still, when we look at the top 5 recruiting teams in the country, Clemson's one of those programs that recruits at a high level to not be able to score a touchdown. And you got a quarterback with a Dr. Pepper commercial? You can't score a touchdown? That's just weird to me.
Poor Dr. Pepper.
So Clemson, yeah, man, they fell off bad.
Can't get right. I'm here for it.
Yeah. Thanks for the phone call. Seth says, this is the content I'm here for on the Swain event. Hot takes and message board material. Oh, my gosh. No. Think Things have said like 2-3 times to the point where like it's like stop repeating yourself, but you have to, man, because people twist what you say. It's crazy. 865-255-03. We'll go to the text box. Got some good stuff here in the text box. We got For What also coming up. We'll hear from Alante Taylor. Austin Price will join us talking, of course, Tennessee football, recruiting on the road this week in Gainesville. So what kind of players Tennessee looking at down in Florida? We'll talk to Austin Price about all of that coming up in hour number 3. Swain Event. Be right back.
For what is coming up on the Swain Event.
We're here with Dr. Michael Carlson of Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine to discuss PRP, platelet-rich plasma. If you have orthopedic injuries such as shoulder pain, knee pain, Achilles tendonitis, or tennis elbow, you should give them a call.
Good to be back, Jason. We specialize in non-surgical orthopedics, so we treat damaged tendons, ligaments, and joints, including rotator cuff injuries, knee injuries, and elbow and foot problems by using ultrasound-guided injections with PRP. And this form of treatment helps stimulate the body's own reparative process and assist in the healing of damaged tissue.
Doc, what makes your training different than others?
I've been practicing in Knoxville for over 26 years, and I'm certified in interventional regenerative orthopedic medicine through the American Academy of Orthopedic Medicine. They've been the leader in this form of treatment since 1983. I also teach this form of treatment on a national and international basis to other physicians, residents, and medical students. Here in our clinic, I'm the one doing the procedure, and we're using your own PRP, which are concentrated platelets, to treat your injury. So in other words, Jason, it comes from you and it goes back to you. So you know exactly what you're getting and know exactly the level of training involved.
Do what the pros, college athletes, and I have done, and visit them online at trsportsmedicine.com. Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, East Tennessee's leader in PRP therapy. Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at GarzaLaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help. If you're coming to Knoxville and need a place to stay, do yourself a favor and book a room at Hampton Inn Paper Mill, also known as the Hampton on the Hill. This award-winning property is literally in the top 5% of all Hampton Inn properties. The GM, Stephen Lawrence, is a good old local boy who grew up in the business around Knoxville. He and his staff are always available, always willing to help, and will go above and beyond for their guests. The newest Hampton Inn in Knoxville has clean, affordable rooms, flat screens, fridges, and microwaves in every room. Plus, breakfast is included in every rate. Not to mention, there's also a pool and fitness center on site. If it wasn't so close to amazing restaurants, bars, and shopping, you would never want to leave. At only 6 miles from campus, you're still right in where the big orange action is. Go to HamptonInn.com, search Knoxville, and book your room at the Hampton Inn Paper Mill or call 865-693-5400. When you start your own business, you know that branding can make or break a new venture. That's why Swain Event relies on 42nd Street. 42nd Street is a strategy agency focused on finding creative, open-minded, results-driven solutions to brand design. After over a decade of operations in East Tennessee, the brand architects at 42nd Street have the experience and creative know-how to ensure the success of your business branding, logo, web presence, and more. To see a real-life example of their amazing work, you can check out our website at swainevent.com. Don't trust the branding of your business to just anyone. Check out my friends at 42nd Street online at 42st.com or give them a call at 865-382-7007. 42nd Street, brand, strategy, design.
There are articles and news stories that you read about the things that people do. And when you're reading those and you start to shake your head, you start to scratch your head a little bit. You get confused. You don't understand why. You start to ask questions. But really, there's only one question that matters. What is that question, you may ask?
For what?
Time to go to Tulsa, Oklahoma for today's For What, home of Robert Meacham. I can't wait to send this to him later. According to Channel 4 News, there in Tulsa, Oklahoma, look at this mugshot, Ben. Kavion Hooks was arrested for an armed robbery in which he took a prosthetic leg from the victim, police say. According to the Tulsa Police Department, the victim stated that Hooks came up to him with a large metal spike, took the victim's backpack, and also took the victim's prosthetic leg. Hooks even asked the victim the worth of each item he was stealing. When Hooks was apprehended, they found him with the victim's leg strapped to his head. Police say they took the leg off Hooks' head and gave it back to the victim. You gotta be a monster to take someone's prosthetic leg. What are you gonna do with that leg, man? What are you gonna do with that leg? What are you gonna do, take it to the pawn shop? Are you gonna use it yourself? You gotta be a monster to do something like that. You gotta be a straight up monster. What kind of person does something like that?
I just, like, what are you going to do with it? Like you said.
Like,
what are you going to do with somebody's prosthetic leg?
What are you going to make a lamp out of it or something?
Like, it would irk me to have somebody else's leg inside of my house.
This is weird, man. God, people are weird. All right, let's go to the text box before we roll to hour number 3 and hit up Austin Price.
Who?
Hit up Austin Price. Oh, yeah, good point, Wallstorm. Didn't you learn from your lesson with Stokes? You're going to get lumped in with Ben's bad takes. Good or bad takes, I'll be lumped in. So, yeah.
I don't have bad takes. Isn't that right?
No, Ken, I'm not upset. I'm just saying, like, the caller asked to compare, like, my group. He said, would any of these guys play with my group? That's what he asked.
And you said, no, they all suck.
I said, no. I said, I'm trying to be nice, but the answer is no. Simple as that. So the caller asked about my group. So, Ken, I'm not upset. I'm not bothered. But wide receiver, you started with those guys, man. Carl Pickens. Think about Anthony Hancock. Just legends. Anthony Millers, the Alvin Harpers, like, for sure. And I call Joey Kent the GOAT, but Joey would never, like, accept that because he feels like Carl Pickens was the best ever and is the best ever. So there's a long list of receivers that played here, and that era was special. It was truly special because you didn't have rules put in place that help the passing game like you do now. You can't even hit guys now. So that's what makes receivers that played back in that era that much more special because they used to knock half your head off, and there was no penalty. Let's see here. So yeah, no offense taken, Ken. I'm good. I just wanted to make sure we was clear. The touchdown turnover was the player that is most important for this game. That's a non-quarterback is on offense. And as Steve Vall says, turnover, that is Juwan Mitchell. So he feels like Juwan Mitchell is very, very, very important outside the quarterback position. And, maybe my expectations were a little too high for Juwan Mitchell because we just haven't seen him flash a lot. But Juwan Mitchell, along with Jeremy Banks, better be ready for a double chin strap game to stop that run. for sure. Espresso Vol says, I sure do miss having an elite passing game. Why has it been so hard to maintain a passing threat? Well, we haven't had consistent quarterback play. That's pretty simple.
I miss having a good football team.
Hey, man, what did you expect this year?
6 wins.
Tennessee is 2-1. Season ain't over yet.
Yeah, Vanderbilt in South Alabama and South Carolina get to 5. Can you knock off somebody else to get to 6?
Maybe this team can be the 2004 Vulcans, where got the back blowed out early in the season, but fought their way back and finished the season strong. That's the hope, right?
The record of
what, the 14 season?
Oh, you said 04.
No, the 14 season when they got, struggled a little bit early and then, battled back and won 6 games and then won 7 in the bowl. Hour 3 coming up.